ẹ̀sà láàrin ọ̀pọ̀ ènìyàn. Orí yọmí ẹrù rẹ̀ ò máa ṣiṣẹ́. Ilé máa jẹ́ iṣẹ́ rẹ̀ ò kò ṣe fẹ́. Mashallah, tèmi ṣaṣọ àwa. Ẹ̀sìn rẹ̀. Aṣọ ní lálákàbọ̀. Ẹ̀sìn rẹ̀. Aṣọ náà nílé mi. Ìlàyé. Àlejò náà ni kò fi ṣe gbẹ̀yìn mi. Aṣọ ní ní oṣẹ́ bọ̀ mú mi ní o. Àròlé ànábì ni kò ṣe mí. Ọlọ́run tó pè mí ò kò lè kú. Lè yọ kúrò níbi ayé àṣẹ. Ọ̀rẹ́ ní gbẹ́kẹ̀lé òun èjì rẹ̀. Tó bà mí lẹ́rù sí rẹ̀ kò kọ́ mi. Yẹ kí n ro.
We are your connection to the sound that surrounds you.
Hit music belongs here.
I got the keys to the city.
This is Vicinity FM 95.3.
Enjoy.
A beautiful Friday morning to you. It's Vicinity 95.3 FM. I on the hilltop of Ikejile, Ijesha State, transmitting live from here. I greet you this morning, saying a beautiful morning to you. Yeah, I'm saying that for the second time. How was your holiday? Yesterday, June 12th. Yeah, it was our Democracy Day. We awaited the president's address at the joint session in the National Assembly, and the moment that got through, it was all over the place. But at this moment, I just know that Nigeria will be great again. It will be better, and this journey starts now. Welcome on Newspaper Review this morning, where we bring you all of the top stories on our dailies. Do well to join the conversation on our Facebook and YouTube at Vicinity 95.3 FM. And before me this morning, the dailies I have dailies from Daily Independent, The Guardian, Daily Trust, The Punch, and Nigerian Tribune. And on the front page of Daily Independent, democracy is declining in Nigeria. Peter Obi, Atiku, 1. The Patriots ask FG to speed up process for true democratic constitution. Don't blame defectors jumping off a sinking ship. Tinubu on the rider says one-party system not in the offing, nor should it be. Mocks opposition, tells them to put their house in order. Confers national honors on Kudirat Abiola. Humphrey Nwosu orders. Grants posthumous pardon to Ken Saro-Wiwa, 8 Ogoni activists. We are not obligated to solve PDP LP orders. Internal crisis, APC. Falaye insists he won 1999 presidential election. Makes case for parliamentary system of government. Lassa fever death toll rises to 142 across 18 states. Tinubu missed golden opportunity to restore democracy in Rivers, Dixon. Resist anti-democratic actions of APC government. PDP tells Nigerians. Survivor of Air India crash jumped out of emergency exit. Police say, yeah, that was a devastating one. We all saw that video on the internet where the plane that had just taken off, just in 5 minutes, it crashed into, residential area. It was a sad thing to see. And now to The Guardian. newspaper. Yeah, I tell you, on all of our dailies today, we'll still have stories on our Democracy Day celebration. VS today, NNPC remits 4.7 trillion nairas oil revenue shortfall. June 12, Soludo, Fashola Jega advocate electoral reforms and national rebirth. One passenger survives as plane crashes, kills over 260 in India. I said it was a really devastating crash because the whole thing went up in flames. I'm even surprised somebody survived that crash. For that survivor, now you have to live the life of over 259 lives because you're the only one who lives to tell that story of the scare, how you feel, and what happened at that twinkling of an eye when the whole thing went up in flames. And according to reports here, even it took an emergency exit. How did that even happen? Well, like I said, you have to live to tell the story of the other 259 people who died in that crash. And you have to live a life for all of them, knowing that it was really a miracle that you survived that crash. And for the victims of the crash, we pray God grant the family the fortitude to bear the irreparable loss. June 12, President Nigerians defound progress impacts 32 years after. Democracy Day, Tinubu honors Alex Ibru, Kudirat, Nwosu Akinyemi, others with national awards. International Day, Emergency Services at risk, over 80% blood shortage in hospitals. Universities will score 70% in 4 key areas to get full NUC accreditation, says FG. Abiola family seeks legislation to institutionalize June 12. Ali accuses religious leaders of fueling insecurity. In Benue, windstorm kills 6, injures 30 in Taraba. Airtel Daily Trust, no democracy as long as Rivers is under emergency rule. Dixon, protest against hardship flops in states. 8 family members die in Zaria auto crash. PDP, ADC, SDP take on Tinubu on opposition comment. Survivor narrates moments before crash that's killed over 240. June 12, governors seek commitment to democratic ideals. Tinubu honors Yaradua, Balarabe, Musa, Kudirat, Abiola, Soyinka, others. These are the top headlines on Daily Trust. On Daily Punch. Still on Democracy Day, firework, Tinubu opposition, trade blows. Protesters, APC supporters hold parallel rallies in Lagos, Abuja. Knox kudos as Tinubu honors June 12 heroes. Soyinka 58 others honored. Saruwiwa, Ogoni 8 pardoned. Critics flare President for Umar Odumaki order commissions. And President Tinubu to commission Akpo Waso Road today in the Federal Capital Territory. And now to Nigerian Tribune. Kudirat, Abiola, Ige, Saruwiwa, Bewane, Mosu, Soyinka, others get national honors. Ogoni 9 granted, presidential pardon, national honors, no plan to turn Nigeria into one-party system. Plane headed to London from India carrying 230 passengers crashes. One survives. And President Tinubu's Commission OLUWAFUNKE wrote today. Your top stories on Nigerian Tribune. I'll bring you details of these headlines too. Well, to join the conversation this morning, we're live on Facebook and YouTube.
Enjoy.
Now to the details of the headlines. Tinubu confers posthumous national honors on Kudirat Abiola King Saruwiwa orders in commemoration of the 26th uninterrupted democratic rule in Nigeria. President Bola Tinubu conferred posthumous national honors on the late Alhaji Kudirat. I'm sure it's Alhaja Kudirat Abiola, wife of June 12, 1993 general elections, and a host of orders on Thursday to the admiration of the federal lawmakers. Tinubu also conferred posthumous national honors on the late Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Chief Olaigi Shehu Musa Yaradua, Professor Humphrey Nwosu, and Alhaji Balarabe Musa, by Alfred Rawane, Chima Ubani, Dr. Beko Ramsin Kuti, Alao Akabashorun, Chief Frank Kukuri, Ruben Fashoranti, Senator Ayo Fasami, and numerous other nationalists. Over 80 national honors were conferred yesterday by the President to those alive and deceased. Defections. It is a pleasure to witness oppositions in disarray. President Bola Tinubu. The President expressed pleasure in the state of Nigeria's opposition parties, saying it is a delight to see them in disarray. Speaking during a joint sitting of the National Assembly on Thursday to commemorate this year's Democracy Day, Tinubu welcomed new defectors into the ruling All Progressives Congress, taking the opportunity to deride the internal crisis rocking the major opposition parties. Tinubu remarks appeared directed at recent defections and political realignments that have unsettled both the People's Democratic Party and the Labour Party. He urged both parties to reflect on their internal challenges rather than casting blames elsewhere. Nigerian Tribune, Air India flights with over 200 on board crashes in Ahmedabad. An Air India flight en route to London on Thursday crashed shortly after takeoff from Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel International Airport in Ahmedabad, India. The aircraft, a Boeing 787 Dreamliner, was operating as flight to London Gatwick when the crash occurred. Reports from Asian News International and Reuters indicated at least 242 passengers were on board. However, the official number of passengers and crew has not yet been confirmed. Eyewitnesses saw thick black smoke billowing from the crash site near Megani Naga, a densely populated area close to the airport. Emergency service, including fire and medical response team, were quickly deployed to the location. And one person, just one, survived that deadly crash. Stories on Nigerian Tribune. Kogi, adopted 97-year-old monarch regains freedom. The Obalong of Okonoki, Oba James Dada Ogunyada, has regained his freedom after spending 27 days in captivity. Governor Laji Ahmed Ododo ordered full medical rehabilitation and psychological restoration of the monarch. Recalled that the traditional ruler was adopted from his palace by kidnappers who placed a ransom of 100,000 naira for his release. About 3 weeks ago, the first-class traditional ruler of the Okoloki community, Yagba West local government of Kogi State, regained freedom from captivity of kidnappers who adopted him from his palace, and the ransom was 100,000 naira. Really, we don't even know what people do for money these days. So don't get me wrong. Sometimes you get to hear a big amount of money, but what's the motive behind this kidnap? Moving on this morning, June 12, Obi tackles Tinubu, says Nigerians was off after 2 years. Amid the celebration of June 12 on Thursday, the 2023 presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, tackled the administration of President Bola Tinubu, claiming that in 2 years of government, Nigerians had not fared better. The Peter Obi media reach said the former governor of Anambra State made a Democracy Day broadcast on democracy in decline, reflecting on 2 years of Tinubu's governance, where he gave his position on the Tinubu's administration. There is also on Nigerian Tribune, defections. It is a pleasure to witness oppositions in disarray. President Bola Tinubu said that while he was addressing the joint session of the National Assembly on Thursday to commemorate this year's Democracy Day. He welcomed defectors into the ruling All Progressives Congress, taking the opposition to the rising internal crisis rocking the major opposition parties. And the president clearly stated that it was not the cause of any crisis in their party, that if they should put their house in order. But then the other statement came that it's not the cause of the disarray, that, well, he's delighted to see them in disarray, but it was not the cause of whatever crisis rocking the party. Stories on Nigerian Tribune. And now to the Punch. Now on the Punch newspaper, Sky Oro FG world leaders mourn 290 dead India. in deadly crash. President Bola Tinubu on Thursday joined King Charles III and Queen Camilla and other world leaders to console the India Prime Minister Narendra Modi over the plane crash that claimed more than 200 lives on Thursday. London-bound Air India passenger carrying 242 people crashed shortly after takeoff from Ahmedabad's Sardar Patel International Airport, India, causing widespread devastation in the nearby residential area and resulting in significant loss of lives. The tragedy left one known survivor from 242 on board, with the jet smashing into building housing doctors and their families. Ooh. Stories on the Punch. June 12. Governors promote democracy, seeking honors for heroes. Nigerian governors on Thursday charged Nigerians to make democracy thrive in the country. We all should make democracy thrive in the country. They also sought due honor of those they describe as heroes of the democracy the country has been enjoying for 26 years. The Nigerian Governors Forum, in a statement signed by its chairman, Malam Abdurrahman Abdurazak, made available to the press in Ilorin on Thursday, described June 12 as a watershed in national history. Abdurazak, who is the Kwara State Governor, urged Nigerians to join hands with President Bola Tinubu and other stakeholders to engage in constructive dialogue and democratic mechanism for better outcomes. Protesters, APC supporters hold parallel rallies in Lagos and Abuja. Anti-government protests and counter-rallies to drum up support for President Bola Tinubu in Abuja and 6 states held on Thursday as the country celebrated Democracy Day. In Abuja, the Take It Back movement protesters plan to storm the National Assembly failed as heavy security deployment prevented access to the complex, where President Tinubu addressed the joint session of the Senate and House of Representatives as part of activities marking Democracy Day. The security at the National Assembly was reinforced with iron barricades and a long truck, effectively blocking access to the premises. Democracy Day fireworks, Tinubu opposition trade blows. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, along with the People's Democratic Party and the New Nigerian People's Party, criticized President Bola Tinubu over his remarks, expressing satisfaction at the prospect of a divided opposition. June 12, 2025 celebration marks 26 years of uninterrupted years of democratic governance in Nigeria, and in response, Atiku, in an exclusive interview through his media aide, Paul Ibe, condemned the president's remarks as reckless, accusing Tinubu of running the country like a civil dictator. And more knocks, kudos as Tinubu honors June 12 heroes. President Bola Tinubu attracted praises and knocks for the list of honorees who he announced as democracy heroes, while some Nigerians lauded the president for his tribute to the heroes of the June 12, 1993 struggle. Others lamented that key names were conspicuously omitted from the list. The late Moshood Abiola was named winner of the June 12 election of 1993, regarded as the freest and fairest in the country. And the president, in the exercise of his power on Thursday, bestowed national honors on activists, journalists, scholars, and fallen pro-democracy icons. Stories on the Punch. Still on the Punch newspaper, Lassa fever kills 142, spreads across 18 states. The Nigerian Center for Disease Control and Prevention has recorded 747 confirmed Lassa fever cases out of 5,394 suspected cases between January and June 1st. The cases were recorded in 18 states across 96 local government areas in the latest situation report by the NCDC on its website on Thursday. So far, the country has recorded 142 deaths with a case fatality rate of 19%. And this brings me to the Daily Trust newspaper. Democracy. PDP, ADC, SDP take on President Bola Tinubu's opposition. Remarks. Leading opposition parties in the country yesterday fled President Bola Tinubu for publicly expressing his happiness over the ongoing crisis in their folds ahead of the 2027 general elections. The president had, while addressing a joint session of the National Assembly on the occasion of Democracy Day yesterday, said he is pleased the opposition party is in disarray. The president said he cannot put their houses in order for them. I don't want to dwell much on this story because it's all over the place. It's on every of the dailies today. It's still on Daily Trust. Demonstration protest against hardship flops in states. The planned nationwide protest against hardship and insecurity failed to take place in many states yesterday. The protest was planned by Take It Back movement to coincide with the June 12th Democracy Day in the country. The organizers had declared June 12 a National Day of Resistance, rejecting what they called the OLO ceremonies of democracy. Many of the venues designated for the protest were deserted in the Federal Capital Territory and many of the states. However, there were reports that the protest took place in Oyo, Osun, Lagos, and around them National Assembly is just the road, the entrance of the National Assembly was barricaded and there was no access for protesters to go in, but they sure showed up at the area of the National Assembly complex. Well, Democracy Day is gone, but still here. So what can we do for our country, Nigeria, to make sure we all enjoy the dividends of democracy? I'll take the comments on our Facebook page this morning. Sir Julius Adigno said, "Good morning, Funke and Vicinity family. With the rollout of these national honors awards to deserving June 12 activists, it shows a real commemoration of June 12 experience. It is also a lesson in the transient nature of power. One government was there to pursue some people out of existence, another comes to honor them. I congratulate all the beneficiaries and their families. The plane crash is a sad one. May the souls of those that perished rest in peace. Amen." In the presidential address at the National Assembly, I expected Mr. President to touch on what Nigerians should expect in his third year. Nigerians need a promise of better life, and all will be working towards it. Thank you, Sir Julius Digna, for your comments, as always. And now, still on the Daily Trust newspaper, eight family members die in auto crash along Kaduna Zaria. A tragic accident on the Kaduna Zaria highway on Monday evening has left 8 members of a single family dead and 2 others battling for their lives in the hospital after A speeding vehicle lost control and rammed into pedestrians waiting by the roadside. The heartbreaking incident occurred at 6 p.m. in the Barakalalu area of Kaduna Zaria Highway during the Eid al-Kabir festivities. Among the victims were women and children who had gathered at the roadside after visiting their grandmother's house for the holidays. The sad one, sad stories of loss of lives. The India plane crash, it's a devastating one. All of the souls on board died except for one survivor. It's hard for the families of these victims. It will be hard for them to take it in. We pray that they are strengthened at this time of their grief. And now to the Guardian newspaper. And still on the Guardian, June 12, President Nigeria's differs on progress impact after 32 years. President Bola Tinubu to reschedule the program set aside to mark the day raised public skepticism amid plans by the Take It Back movement to hold a nationwide protest against such many states across the country. It was an anticlimax as there were no significant activities, no protest or solidarity rallies to commemorate the 32nd anniversary of the annulment of Nigeria's freest and fairest elections. Else, people did not go on the streets to protest. I'm sure they all want a better life. Moving away from that story, Arch, as Nigeria pilgrims begin homecoming 2025 Arch. Oh, welcome back, Nigerians. Yet, even when you have concluded your rite of Hajj, then still you shall remember God with much more solemn reverence. And this year's Hajj is over. The Saudi Arabia authorities drew curtains on the spiritual obligation last Sunday, expressing satisfaction that it was a successful and incident-free exercise. A total of over 1 million pilgrims participated in the exercise this year, with over 1.5 million international pilgrims and 166,000 domestic pilgrims. Also, the breakdown released by Deputy Emir of Makkah region, Prince Saad bin Mishal, indicates that 877,000 were males and 795,000 were females. Well, Nigerians, we welcome you back from the Hajj. Still on the Guardian, International Day, emergency services at risk. Over 80% blood shortages in hospitals. Massive shortage of blood supply vis-a-vis national demand has put accident and emergency services in dire straits, with several blood banks nearly empty nationwide. The concerns has relieved by care professionals on the eve of the International Blood Donor Day 2025. Border on waning voluntary donations, lack of awareness and unfounded cultural beliefs that have combined to deprive care facilities of 80% of blood demand by sick Nigerians. At the National Hospital visited by the Guardian, the blood bank is almost empty. Findings show that most givers are family replacement donors who visit only when a family member needs blood. So in our country, Nigeria, we really don't really create this awareness that we need blood. People should donate blood. You don't have to wait till your family members are sick and there is an emergency call for them to get blood to get blood. Then we start to run here and there, knowing that it's not everybody that can take same blood type. And now we don't really create that awareness. As for some reason, some people don't think that it's okay for them to donate blood due to cultural concerns, as stated on the Guardian. And we should create more awareness so we help support our health care system. You can't buy blood anywhere. It comes from donation and all of that. We save blood at our blood banks, and there is no blood at our blood banks. You know what this means? I mean, it's emergency cases like this will be hard to tackle, and when it's an emergency, you really need emergency care. When there are no blood, to provide emergency care, what that means for our health, our healthcare system. And on World Blood Donor Day, there is a cry that we should know how to fix the massive blood shortage in our country. Stories on the Guardian newspaper. And Southeast Governors Forum of what's relevant to Indigo. It's like we have, APC Governors Forum, PDP Governors Forum, then the General Governors Forum, and all of that. And now, the same, okay? Southeast Governors Forum has been widely regarded as ineffective in fulfilling the objectives that necessitated its establishment, and in a region in dire need of strategic leadership. Recently, a coalition of civil society organizations in the Southeast expressed disappointment with governors of the region, accusing them of negligence in the face of challenges besetting the area and its people. The coalition, by craving the essence of the Southeast Governors Forum, insisted that the body constitute a disappointment, having failed to meet the people's expectations in the area of leadership and reassuring them of better days ahead. Stories on the Guardian for more of it. I'll take some stories on Daily Independent forward. Make it a wrap on the show this morning. So, Falai has insisted that he won the 1999 presidential election. Well, you've made a case, since June 12, 1993 election. We all have come to agree because, of course, there was an evidence that Kashimawa Abiola won the election, and it's well proven. Even former head of state, Babangida, in his book this year, also said he regretted some of the actions taken during that time. Well, Falai has decided that, okay, since June 12, he himself won the 1999 presidential election and makes case for parliamentary system of government. The former secretary to governor of the federation and former presidential candidate on the joint platform of the Alliance for Democracy and the All People's Party in the 1999 election, Chief OLUWAFUNKE, has insisted that he won the election, defeating former President Olusegun Obasanjo. He also made a case for a parliamentary system of government, saying that it is more suitable for a multi-ethnic country like Nigeria. Speaking on Thursday in commemoration of Democracy Day, Falai stressed that there are flaws in the presidential system of government. The former Minister of Finance regretted that he won the 1999 presidential election but was denied victory by those in authority who didn't feel comfortable with him becoming the president. Well, this is the case Bafalana is making. Right there, Tinubu missed golden opportunity to restore democracy in Rivers. Dixon, former Bayelsa State Governor and Senator representing Bayelsa West, on Thursday, Democracy Day joint session of the National Assembly, delivered a fiery critique of President Tinubu, accusing the President and the ruling All Progressives Congress of fostering an undemocratic military administration in Rivers State while publicly celebrating democracy. Said the President missed the golden opportunity to restore constitutional order in Rivers and reassure Nigerians of his democratic credentials. And still on Daily Independent, Lassa fever death toll rises to 142 across 18 states. You should catch that story and read more on that, because our health is a presidential election lamented that democracy is in decline in the country. Obi stated this through his spokesman, Ibrahim Umar, said after a comprehensive look at the 2 years of the government, he has concluded that a lot is not right in governance, delivery and policies of the administration. Well, Zulum commissions 20 road projects in Maiduguri to mark Democracy Day. Construction of 3 hospitals international conference center kicks off. Borno State Governor Bamangalan Zulum commissioned the 20 roads in Maiduguri, the state capital, to mark the 2025 Democracy Day celebration. That's all I can take for that's the additional salami. Thanks to the technical crew for making this a smooth ride.
Enjoy.
We are your connection to the sound that surrounds you.
Hit music belongs here.
I got the keys to the city.
This is Vicinity FM 95.3.
We lead while others follow. We lead while others follow. Vicinity FM 95.3. We lead while others follow. Àwa làgbà wọn. We lead while others follow. Aṣíwájú ni wá. Vicinity FM àwa ni bàbá. We lead while others follow. We lead while others follow. Vicinity FM ní kejìlẹ̀. We lead while others follow. Àwa lọ̀gá o. We lead while others follow. Adìẹ funfun àwa ṣá ní bàbá gbogbo. Àwa ní bàbá. Vicinity FM 95.3.